Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope you're well. This is one of the newest fragrances from Fragrance World called Coliseum. It kind of matches my color scheme here. Nice. Now it's not full on French Avenue, so that means I guess it's not as fancy, pretty much. But they did give us a nice little faux Coliseum on the cap there. And this right here is a clone of Argos's Triumph of Bacchus, which if you've never smelled that fragrance, it smells similar to Red Tobacco by Mancera, kind of in that style, in that wheelhouse, which means it could also remind you a little bit of something like Parfums de Marly Carlisle or Mystery Tobacco by Carolina Herrera. But of all of those, it's closest to Red Tobacco. And that's because it has this big pop of sweetness, spiciness, booziness, kind of all of that melding together right as soon as you spray it on. And this one is gonna give you that same vibe right away. Now, it's not maybe as aggressively sweet in the way that the booze hits, because if you're familiar with fragrances that use notes like rum and cognac and things like that really prominently, then you know that when you spray that on, if they have that note, it can come across almost like syrupy sweet, like really aggressive. And the Argos definitely has that kind of vibe when you spray it on. Though, to be fair, I'm only familiar with the original Triumph of Bacchus. Like, I haven't smelled the new version, or I say the new version. A lot of people say that it's been reformulated and like weakened down and everything. I'm only familiar with when it first came out. I don't have a brand new bottle or anything, so I can't, you know, contrast and compare and tell you for sure, oh, it's been weakened and it's been this, that, and the other thing. So when I'm talking about that scent, I'm talking about it as it was. As it was. But compared to the OG, this one is gonna be a little bit more reined in with that aspect. Along with those notes, you're gonna get patchouli, vetiver, sandalwood, amber, and vanilla. Also a little bit of tonka as well, so additional warmth and sweetness. Quality versus price point, this stuff is fantastic to me, really appealing stuff. Obviously gonna be a fall, wintertime scent, more of an evening fragrance overall. And just really interesting to see this finally come out, because that fragrance has been, you know, low-key, kind of like a cult favorite for a number of years, and nobody's really bothered to do too much like it, at least as far as clone fragrances go. So this one, Coliseum, if you're looking for an alternative to that scent, really good. And along with that one, I have 9 more newer fragrance clones that you need to know about, some of the best stuff out there right now, at least if you're looking for newer stuff. All these fragrances are gonna be linked in the description. Feel free to check them out down there. The next one is called Embratur Absolute. This one is from Zimaya. So if you're unfamiliar with Zimaya, they're basically part of Offnon, a slightly more affordable sub-brand essentially. And this one right here is a clone of a fragrance that does have Absolute in its name, which might get you thinking like, well, there's about 100 of those. It is this one, Invictus Victory Absolute. Now, right off the rip, to me, Invictus Victory Absolute has more of a an aromatic tinge to it, so you get a little more of that coming through in the Invictus compared to the Zimaya over here. The Zimaya is a little bit sweeter off the top, so in direct comparison, just a little bit of like a different lean to it. Not a massive difference though. If you side by side them, they are really similar. And once that opening tones down, which is 5-10 minutes, they get really, really similar at that point. So basically anything you would use Invictus Absolute for, you would use this one for also. It has solid performance, gonna be more of a fall wintertime fragrance. Once again, daytime or evening, I think. Performance is solid, especially after you let it sit for just a little while, let it mature slightly. Probably gonna be more under the radar. They do also have a couple other fragrances in this line that are cloning other Invictus fragrances. So if you're a big fan of Invictus, especially like Invictus Victory Elixir, Invictus Victory Absolute, you should definitely check these out. This one, really, really good. And then of course, Asad Elixir by Lattafa. Lattafa is a weird brand sometimes for me because you're expecting them to put stuff out and then it's like nothing for a stretch of time, and then they'll just dump a ton of things and then nothing. And right this millisecond is kind of like a nothing time. There's not been a whole heck of a lot here over the past month or so as far as like big releases. But Asad Elixir, this is one of the best ones that they've put out recently, and it smells similar to Boss Bottled Absolute. And Boss Bottled Absolute, one of my absolute favorite fragrances right now in the designer realm. I think that stuff is amazing. And it's a little similar to Carlisle by Parfums de Marly, which is kind of funny because I said this one, you know, smells like Triumph of Bacchus, which smells a little similar to Red Tobacco, which some people say is similar to Carlisle. But if you spray this side by side with this, you're not gonna get them confused. So it's just kind of a funny thing that happens with fragrances in general, where it'll be like, okay, this one to me smells similar to this one. And you smell them side by side and you go, yeah, Okay, yeah, I get that. So then you go, this one also smells similar to this one. And you go, oh yeah. And eventually you get enough, degrees of separation where the first thing that smelled similar to this, that smells similar to this, that smells similar to this, you smell those side by side and you go, these are not alike at all. So there is that kind of thing going on over here with these. This one is gonna be more boozy, fruity, sweet, a little tobacco-ish over here as well. This one is gonna be less sweet, the way that it hits, though I will say it's not as patchouli forward as Bottled Absolute, which it is a clone of. It also has a tobacco note in here, an Asad Elixir. Really classy, really sexy stuff, well done, quality is good. And to my own personal taste, I would say it's probably my favorite Asad, but that's also just because I really like Boss Bottled Absolute, and right now this is the best alternative to that. So, and we're gonna keep it with the tobacco vibe with the next one. It is an absolute monster for fall and winter time. But before that one, codes, including a new one, Gents10 for fragflex.com. You can use that code anytime you shop at that store, save yourself some money, and you can use it multiple times. Also have codes for Fragrance Lord, for JOMASHOP. Those only work within the app, the JOMASHOP app. Then of course, Beauty House, Fragrance Lord, and many more. So anytime you shop at those stores, use those codes and save yourself a little extra cash, whether you're looking for designer, niche, or clones. So the next one is Majestueux. This is from Armaf, part of their Lions Club lineup, which I both like and hate as far as the presentation goes. They are unique. They have the leather strap that goes down over the atomizer and kind of hooks in right here. There we go. But it does have a tendency to sometimes be annoying getting it to attach correctly. And then also it will scratch up the bottle in transit. And it also kind of tries to flop on you sometimes, and you gotta keep it away. Stop. So this right here is a clone of Herod, Parfums de Marly's Herod, one of the best wearable niche tobacco fragrances out there. It's got a bit of a smokiness to it, has a nice fruity sweetness that's deep. It's not sugary sweet, it's not syrupy. So it has, along with that tobacco incense, it has vanilla, it has cinnamon, also pepper vetiver and osmanthus. So I mean, really pretty much the Herod. No breakdown, the Herod vibe. Gonna get the same thing here. They also have another one that came out the same time as this one, which is a Parfums de Marly Sedley alternative. And so if you're not into tobacco fragrances, you're not into fall and wintertime fragrances, you could get that one instead. And that's this one right here, Valère. It has kind of like a marble look to it. But yeah, this is Sedley, so if you want a little more PDM action, there's also this. Throne Eclipse, Maison Esrar up next. This is one of my current favorites. And this is one that my wife smelled recently in a smell and rate video where we were going through like a whole bunch of newer releases and stuff. And the way it hit her off the top was like just very big off the tester strip. And at the time, I think she said that she liked it, but like wasn't in love with it. Kind of put it toward like the lower end of the ranking scale. And then the next day, I had this as my scent of the day, and she loved it. So I do think that for me, it works better, it works differently anyway. Off a strip especially, the opening is a pretty big wallop. It's like an alcohol-y, boozy, big blast, and it hits you with a lot of sweetness and kind of a syrupy aspect to it initially off a strip. On skin, especially as it starts to dry down, way smoother, easier wearing, and obviously works out a lot better for me off skin as well. So do keep that in mind with this one. If you spray it on a strip, I think it smells amazing, but some people may find it to be like a little overwhelming, a little bit much. So this one is kind of like a Frankensteinian amalgamation clone, taking things and putting it together and making its own deal. So basically like Blonde Amber from Clive Christian, and then Altair from Parfums de Marly. So it has more of that PDM as it dries down. That's gonna be the main fragrance that you're gonna pick up as it stays on your skin. Off the top, you're gonna get more of that Clive Christian. So you're gonna get more of a fruitiness, like a dried fruitiness. That also has a syrupy aspect and kind of almost a tobacco vibe-esque lurking through there as well. Vibe-esque? Sure. For me, it smells nuts. Middle of winter, this stuff is amazing. Just be aware, off the strip, not quite as appealing to some people. Off the skin, pretty good. It puts the fragrance on its skin, or else it gets the hose again. It gets the hose? Sign me up, dog. Oh wait, you in a different kind of hose. Check it out, it's Elixir Demeter. So this right here is a little difficult right now to find in the US for like a millisecond, it seems like. It was available on the TikTok shop, and I have not all of them, but some of them. So as of this video, it's a little bit difficult to find in the US. Like you could find them on the website and you could find them on TikTok shop for a second, and then it just kind of... So I reached out to the brand and I was like, so what is the deal with these? Are they coming back to the US? Are they not? And they did hit me back up and said that by the middle of the year, it should be easily available again. So I guess we'll see. You can still keep your eyes open and see if you can scoop one, but yeah, like right this second, it's a little bit of a pain. This one is Torino 21, and I am a huge fan of that fragrance, though I know it is like a little played out now. When it first came out, it was like, oh, Torino 21, amazing! And then 65 different fragrances that smell similar to it later, everybody's going, put me out of my misery. Oh, ooh. Ooh. It was in the air still, and now I taste it. The quality's not bad though. Had worse. So it's Torino 21. It is ultra minty, very fresh, zingy, lively, crisp, citrusy. It is easily in the top, very tippy top echelon of alternatives for Torino 21. The bottle looks great, even though I can't pick it up. Nice looking glass. The cap is heavy. The atomizer, as you saw, is really good. There's a ton to love about this. It's just what happened. Here today, gone tomorrow. But when this fragrance brand, and I'm assuming by the time it does come back, there will be new ones as well. But when it gets back to the US and everywhere else in the world, you need to check them out. If they continue with this type of quality, they're gonna be leapfrogging with the quickness. If they don't, then they won't, and then nobody cares. But when they do come back, and if they do have new fragrances and it still has this type of quality, this will be big. If not, it'll suck. Khadlaj Onyx Silver. Pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. One thing I absolutely adore about this presentation is that they just had to sneak in a little bit of crystal action. But they saw the Club de Nuits of the world and they said, nah, I don't want to do it that hardcore. I just want a little itty bitty, just super tiny one. Look at how little those are. You got one here, one there. You just gotta get those crystals. I don't know why, but you gotta do it. Let's spray. Good, pretty good. So this right here is Khadlaj-esque. Oh, I can taste that one too. So it's gonna hit you in a very similar way to that fragrance, that type of freshness that it has. Now, Khadlaj is not the most hyped fragrance out there as far as PDMs go. And I would say that for the majority of people, probably, you know, Sedley is gonna be a little more attractive, or attractive to wear day to day, I mean. And you know, Percival as well, probably. But Khadlaj is a little more grown up, a little bit. Soapy aspect to it that this one puts across as well. The projection is not monstrous on this one, which I think is a lot of Khadlaj fragrances in general. You know, they'll have pretty good scent profile and everything, but then they're not the loudest out there. The longevity is fine. It's just the projection is more, as far as clones go, average. But it is solid if you're looking for an alternative to that scent. Jungle Vibe by Rayhaan. So as of this video, they have a couple new ones that I don't have yet. One of them is called Pharaoh. They have like a big thing for it, you know. And those two new ones may very well be very, very good. But since I have this one and I've smelled this one, I can tell you this one, it is good. So Jungle Vibe, as you can see, quite green, both in terms of the coloration of the fragrance and how it smells. And also the fragrance it's a clone of. And that's because it is a clone of Santal Greenery. It all makes sense. That one has citrus, but also fig. A really nicely developed fig note. That gives you a little bit of a creaminess, sweetness, very fresh, green along the edges. Also has violet and sandalwood and fig go really well together. That kind of creaminess that both have, you know, kind of meld together nicely. This one, fantastic for spring and summer. Great daytime fragrance. Nice little change of pace compared to your more typical blue fragrances and everything out there. And it is that type of green scent that more people gravitate towards, because when it comes to green fragrances, a lot of people don't like things that are overly leafy, you know, things that are really green, overly aromatic. A lot of people shy away from that stuff. This one has enough sweetness that you don't run into that. Next one I want to share with you is called Eclipse. Diamond Eclipse. Not diamond. Top of the cap basically looks like a Michelin star. I mean, right? You see it too, right? And the fragrance itself smells similar to an elixir. But which elixir? Well, this one is Aqua de Jo. Elixir. Yes, this little guy right here, small bottle, means it's more expensive. Now, when you do a side by side, they're gonna be more different in the opening. Once it settles, you know, again, 5-10 minutes in, kind of the same deal as this one over here. It gets very, very similar. Off the top though, I would say that Aqua de Jo Elixir is gonna have more smoothness to it and has a little bit more of a lean into that violet to me. But again, after they settle down, super, super similar. And you would wear it the exact same times and places as Aqua de Jo Eclipse. So if you're wanting an alternative to that, this stuff right here, really, really, really good. Just a little different when you first spray it on. And then the final scent is this right here, Ravine Ice by French Avenue. I do like the bottle. I think it's kind of slick. It has kind of a, I don't know, like a faux stone feel to it, and it has this glacial kind of vibe, which that is very cool. And this one smells similar to a Goldfield and Banks. And the particular scent is the very hyped Pacific Rock Moss, which came out not that long ago in 2016.
Bruh.
Oh, it's been a decade. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the scent, it is extremely easy to wear in spring and summer. Kind of a sweet aquatic vibe, lemon, geranium, lavender, sage, stuff like that. It's not a beast of a fragrance. The projection is gonna be more average, kind of in line with like this Khadlaj over here, but it does have solid longevity, especially for a freshie. So the big drawback for Pacific Rock Moss was always that it was kind of expensive, and then the performance was not that great. This one solves those problems. It's not as expensive, and it also is gonna give you a little better push. So all that together makes this just a really solid alternative to PRM. And there we go, guys. Those right there, some of the best new stuff that's come out here recently. Some of the things you need to keep an eye out for. There is also a new Hawas London, but that one did not work out so well for me. I wanna thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.